Okay, carrying on from where we left off. Okay, yeah, we're supposed to create seams for this. Did I trying to remember if I have anything in this seam layer. Okay, we added everything on this layer. Okay. Okay, so I have a brush to use for this. Well, now that I look at it, I feel there's something I'm supposed to add. I think I need to do the same thing I did here. I need to do this for this lower part also. I feel I should do that for the lower part. So let me sorry. Let me just do this for this base folds. I think we did that on a subdivision level of 3. I think we did that on subdivision level 3 for that. Okay. So still on the same standard brush. Let me just isolate this. Well, let me just go to one subdivision level higher. Okay. So the size should be fine. Let's give it a let's give it a try. Let's see. Yeah, this size will work just fine. So basically just do this around. Okay. Something like this should be fine. Now just repeat the same process for the back parts. It does not need to be completely perfect. Irregularity is also on it to also give it a more appealing result because nothing in life is perfect, I believe. So okay, I think we can leave this the way it is now. Except for one part I feel I should still work on a bit more. Yes, before moving before moving on to the next thing, I feel I should still work on this part of the arms a bit more. Let me show you guys what I mean. Don't know if there's a ref, if this should work. Yeah, something like adding this kind of breakup I will see around here on the inner parts, both on the inner part and the outer parts, like basically around the edge, basically around the edge. So I think I'm going to add that before using any alpha brush in here. To do that, I also need to do the same thing also for this part also, so it's already blocked it in. Let me start by, I'm also guessing I'll need to make it more thicker, more or less more thicker. Yes, I need to make it thicker also. So let me start by selecting it. Probably even smooth, maybe not. Let's see, let's smooth. I'm gonna smooth the border. Let's see. I'm gonna smooth it. Let me go to a lower subdivision level instead. I need to kind of smooth the border out a bit more. I don't want to completely shrink it though. But like the edges needs to be a bit more rounded. Or maybe I can do something instead. Let's try this. I'm going to use them standard brush. Probably increase that a bit more. Then I would draw on the edge itself. Don't know if that will work. It's not really giving me. Oh, it's kind of giving me something though. So let me just continue on with that, just to make the edge a bit rounded and not too square-ish like it is now. Just to have it feel a bit more rounded. Just something more or less of this nature should be fine. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to look rounded. Probably do the same thing also in here, and the inward parts. And it's completely fine if it feels a bit jagged like this. So it also adds to the imperfection of the fabric to give it a more appealing result also. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. Another thing we also need to do is to kind of add this stuff we added in front. We need to do it in the inward part also, because I'm going to be doing a render with just this guy with the hoodie on. So if peradventure someone is to check this from the side view, at least they should kind of see some kind of level of amount of detail in there. So let me just go one subdivision level higher for this. Probably use a higher brush size. The intensity, maybe 13 should be fine. Something like this should work. Nope, I lost it. Okay. You do not have to rush the process. Just take your time and then try and figure out what works best for your model to give you that desired realistic look, if that is what you're actually going for. Which in my case is exactly what I'm going for. So I might be slow, but I'm just gonna make sure, at least even though I don't get all the details in there, at least a good enough detail to kind of make it look realistic. There are other ways to do this faster, but I think I will just carry on like this because at least this gives me the desired result I'm going for. So we need to kind of repeat the same thing for the other side. Repeat the same process. The standard brush is doing a lot of heavy lifting for us. Sorry. Yes, that should be fine for a side view. Just repeat the same thing at the other side. You just smooth it out while I add this on top of it also. Right. Oh yeah, the inward parts. The inward parts. Okay. Alright. I think this should be fine, I believe. You can see this part also in here. I might need to, I think I'll just do that with, with some alpha brush. And maybe an alpha, yes, the alpha I'm going to be using for this. I think I'm going to use that also to kind of tighten out the edge to make it feel more interesting. Okay. Just looking at this, I'm feeling like I need to kind of accentuate it a bit more. I'm not really going for a very clean look on this. I'm not going for a very clean look because I'm going to be adding some kind of more or less like wear and tear around this. Not too aggressive though, but something that gives the idea that this cloth has been worn for quite a long time. And maybe the size is too much. Brush size is just way too much for that. Okay. I will need to plug in the them standard brush in here also. Just make sure this is here. So to make this feel more interesting, we can also use them standard brush and do something like so. Let me just check this from a distance and see how that panned out. We can definitely use this as a base pass. You can also use this as a kind of a base pass for this though, but maybe not too broad. Shouldn't be that broad. Shouldn't be this broad. So maybe take down the brush size a bit more. We're still doing this on a lower subdivision level, which is completely fine. The reason being, if I crank this up now to a higher subdivision level, so we can see this a bit better. So we more or less have something around this nature. But I'm just thinking, I think a better way to do this would be to use an actual alpha for it, so we have more like finer detail there. Yeah, I think I'll just use alpha for that. If the alpha does not give me the desired result I want, then I can just go in there and then do that by hand. So I'm kind of thinking to go, okay, I think an alpha will do a better job for that. So let me just rank this up to the highest subdivision level, and then we can begin to use alpha for this. I'm cranking this up to the highest subdivision level, so I can go back to my layers and then use the seams layer for this. So let's go in here. I should probably will name this to seam alpha, so it's a bit more precise. Just before I move on to this seam, let me just add this kind of compression, what's it called? Detailing around the loops. I can do this by hand, or I can use an alpha for this. Let's see. Should probably start by let's see. Let me create a new layer for this particular part. Elastic alpha. So I have this alpha that kind of gives me some kind of elastic band around it. So I can basically use this. I can even use this as my seam line also. I can use this as a seam line for this inner parts. There's actually two in here. I can actually use one of these. Let's see, it has double edge. One in center. I can actually definitely use something like this for this edge in here. But for this kind of band around here, I think this one should work just fine. So let me just isolate this. Don't know if I need to do it for the front and for the back. The only thing is that it does not need to be too aggressive though. Let me see if I can find a reference for that. I should be able to find a reference somewhere for that though. I think there's something here. I actually know what I need to do. I just need to show you guys a reference for it. Something more or less like having a detail like this though. But I'm just thinking if I should use this alpha. This alpha just has like a broad spectrum of details around it, so that will not really do. It looks cool though, but that will not really do justice on this. Just make it look too noisy. So I think I will just have to do this by hand. I'll just have to do this detail by hand. So I think the standard brush should be fine for this. I just need to work my way down, then up through the various subdivision levels, and then get this to look right. So I can use this as a good reference base. I'm just gonna block something out first, and then I'll just kind of accentuate that to give me the desired result I'm going for. Okay, so I'm gonna work on the bigger forms first, then later I can work my way down through the smaller forms. Okay, something more or less like that should be fine. Should probably start from the top. Give me weird results. Guessing the brush size is too big. It can be a pain sometimes to just get this to look right. Smooth out the edges. Don't need to be too sharp. I think now I can use the damn standard brush and kind of make some kind of definition on it. Make some parts feel more defined. Okay, let's work on the other side. So kind of alternating between holding Alt and then releasing Alt to kind of detail this. So the back parts, let's repeat the same thing for the back parts. Standard brush. And smooth out the edges. Okay, and I'll do the same for the other side. Okay, maybe this one shouldn't be too broken up. So now I can use the standard brush to kind of dig in. Probably connect this up. Okay, that should be fine. And I can always dial that down. So I think this kind of moving out way too much. Kind of sorting this out a bit more. Okay, from a distance looks fine. Yeah, that looks fine from a distance. Then okay, yes. I think yes, let's do this for the color for the hood also. But for this particular one, I don't want to go too crazy on it though, so I'm going to go a bit more light-handed on this. So I'll be a bit more light-handed in here. Let me go one subdivision level higher so you can see some more detail in there, and then just get this, just kind of do this faster. That is way too broad. Probably use a smaller brush size also for this. I think we also need to use the dem standard brush for the middle parts. No, I mean the standard brush rather. Don't know if I should, let me try using an alpha in here. I'll let it go to a lower subdivision level for this. Let's fix this up on this side. So I want to do the dem standard brush now. Then at one level, one subdivision level higher, and then I'll just define this a bit more. More or less like trying to reenact what I've already sculpted in with the standard brush already. Yeah, it looks not too bad from a distance. That's fine. Also need to repeat the same process also for the inner parts. So back to dem standard brush at the lower subdivision level. So now with the Dem standard brush, I can accentuate this a bit more. So I went one subdivision level higher to just kind of get this in there. So we need to repeat the same process for the other side. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but necessary work. Dem standard brush. I mean standard brush rather. I think I said Dem standard brush mistakenly. Should go one subdivision level lower. Okay. Believe the inner part also should not be neglected. Now Dem standard brush at a higher subdivision level. This part feels too thick though. I might later need to use the I think we can use the paintbrush here. You need to go too far. I can use the paintbrush and then just tighten this edge a bit more. Let me go to the lower subdivision level. BPI. Yes, something like this should work just fine. Now just pinch that in. Just feels way too thick. Probably need to even do that for the other side also. But you don't want to go too crazy on it though, so you don't begin to have issues in your bake. So back to the damn standard brush. Okay, I think I'll need to shrink the other side also. So just way too thick. So BPI. I think this is where the seam is, so we can just ignore that. But the inner part is not going to be visible from there, so we can just ignore that. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. This should work just fine. Right, let me just do a quick save again. I'm just checking this just to be sure if everything is working correctly. Which I believe it is, so I think I can carry on. Okay, so let's go to the ISO abbreviation level, and then we can finally use the alpha brush to kind of, I believe, finalize on this. Okay. So I have a few options in here, and I don't think I'll be using. No, I don't want to use this. I think I have another same brushes. Yes. Do I have something in here also? I think what we have in here should work just fine. So I'm going to look for something that is closest to this. I can kind of plug that in the hoodie. So let's look for something close to this. So you have more or less like two lines in between. So this one looks close enough. This one looks close. I think that's the closest one we can find. Yes, that is the closest one we can find. This also looks good though. Yeah, the dilemma of choosing the right one. Let's plug this in first. Let's see what we have. This is a lower brush size with a higher intensity for this. Nah, that's way too intense. This seems to be giving a really weird result. Not the actual result I'm going for though. And it feels like 1 million polygons will not be enough to even hold that. Nah, it's not giving me the desired result I want. Yeah, this one looks close enough. Let's see. This should have worked fine, but something is missing. Something is definitely missing. This bump in there is definitely missing. Okay, there, I think you can do this. You can either, let me see if I can find something else. I can either use the standard brush, kind of create that lump, then use this seam brush and then just cut in between. But that will just take a longer time. But if I can find a brush that will work just fine for it, I think I'll just have to do it that way. Let's see if there's something else we can use. Let's try this. That is just weird. Now that is definitely weird. I think there's no other way out, guys. I think we're just going to have to do this more manually, which kind of sucks though, but let's just get it done. No, that's way too high, and the brush size is way too big, and the intensity is way too low. From a distance, let's see how that looks. Feels too high from a distance though. Feels way too high from a distance. I don't know. I can easily overlook that because there's going to be shadow in here covering that up completely. So maybe I'll just do, let's see what the standard brush can do. The standard brush even gives us even a slightly better result. But I would still want to use one of these. Maybe I can just use the most basic one in there. Let's see. Yeah, this this should be more or less fine. Yeah, this should be more or less fine. Let's just stick with this. So let me just zoom in a distance. Let me try something like this. Yes, I think we can definitely cheat the process. So I'm kind of trying something out in here. Yeah, we can definitely cheat the process. Yes, we can cheat. We can cheat the process to get a much better result. So now is that alpha I just used? Great. System. That's this system I use. No, no, it's actually alpha one. It's actually alpha one. So let's just do this around. Okay. Something like that should be fine. It's actually supposed to be like 2 though. So uh let's do let's just do another one. No, try to figure something out here. So I'm just gonna do another one and then use the standard brush if I can block something like this in the middle to kind of fake that. Though this needs to be tighter though. Just checking this from a distance to be sure. That's way too high. That is way too high. Yeah, I think something like this should be fine. Or maybe we can try the inflate brush. Let's see, BIN. I think we can. No. Just trying to find the right balance for this. I think I can just use the inflate brush to just go around this. Get a closer view on this. Should just be on the border. I think we can leave with something like this. So let's do this for the other side. So scene 1, That's kind of tricky though, so I might not. Let's see, we can actually fix, can actually get this around. Okay, then we can use the inflate brush. Where is that brush? Probably the inwards parts. Okay. I wish there was a brush that could just do this a bit faster for us, but anyways, we are almost done with it already, so okay, so let's just do for the lower part. Also need to do the same thing here, but in here I'm not going to do, I think I might just use one of the alphas for this to just do that quickly. Doesn't need to be completely accurate, because it's not going to be too visible in our render, so let me just look for something that we can just plug in there real quick. This looks nice. Yeah, we can definitely live with this. Maybe crank up the intensity a bit more. Okay. I think I need to do something in here. I use this standard brush. Okay, let's get that inward parts. Just give the inward parts some detail. Before I move on, let me just do the same thing for the other side. I should probably be doing this in the other layers, but since this is not really a big major change on the frontal part, so it's just in the inward part, so it should not really matter that much. Which alpha did we use? It can be really annoying looking for the, okay, this is the alpha in here, alpha 14, I believe. Should be alpha 14, I think. Yeah, I think this should be the one. Okay. Should have that also for this part. It might not even be visible in our render. Just to have something in there regardless. Okay. I believe the final piece of this puzzle should be this. The question is now which alpha can we use to kind of, so most of this alpha were looking really weird. This one looks fine. This one looks not. Oh no, this is the one we used before that was giving us weird, yes, weird results. Thinking of using this, but using it twice. I was actually using it twice. This actually looks nice. Maybe too intense. Probably too intense, I guess. Probably too intense. and I'll do it twice. Maybe they are way too close now. It's way too close. So I was gonna create some I'm just gonna have some gap in between them. Now it doesn't look very neat though. It does not look very neat. Now it's not neat enough. It's not neat enough. Let's see if we can find an alpha that is two ways. This one is fine, but it has threading in there, but I don't really want that threading in there. Don't really want that threading in there. This one is just way too plain. They should work though, but feels way too plain. And maybe we can actually use it though. Let's just carry on with it. So I'm just going to try my possible best to kind of make sure no, it's not consistent enough. Okay. Need more intensity for this. Yes, it should work. Okay. Okay. Let me just do the same thing now down here. No, I lost it. Still losing it. No. No. No, not perfect though, but that should be fine. Okay. So one thing I need to do is kind of make I think I'll use the inflate brush for this. The in-betweens. the in-betweens in here, so I need to kind of more or less like inflate it just a bit, like so. So I'll just go around and just inflate it like so. So from a distance, kind of add some kind of thickness to it. No, not really thickness though, like some kind of lump around it or inside of it. This is front or back. Okay. Alright, I think we have something. I think we have something good now. I believe we have something. Oh yeah, I think I need to use the same brush for this under part also. Now what same brush did I even use for this? Okay, same one. So I'm gonna do this around the neck also. Probably need to increase the brush size a bit more. No. Okay. Get a closer view on this. Alright, awesome. I think I should probably do the same around here too. No, that feels need to be more precise with this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, obviously the back also. Okay. So you need to be really careful with this. Kind of following that defining depth already added at the beginning as a base. So that's like my guideline to kind of follow, kind of get this to go around. So let's do for the other piece. Nope, that is weird. Okay. think this should just go around like so. Alright, so think in the next this tutorial is already long enough. Think in the next lesson we can create this piece in there, and we can call this hoodie done. So I'll see you guys.